I hear your words of mockery and scornful ridicule. Perhaps you think it's humorous to paint Christ as a fool. I don't know if your disregard comes from a place of hate, but either way, I'd like to share some things to contemplate. The maker of the universe is not naive or slow. You speak of his betrayal as if he didn't know. Every year at Easter, I hear this foolish view. Before you say another word, please know, my Saviour knew. Jesus knew his purpose. He knew why he had come. He came not to condemn the world, but save it as God's Son. Jesus wasn't ignorant. He knew he'd be betrayed. And yet his love for me and you is why my Saviour stayed. My Saviour knew his mission, to win for us our pardon. And Jesus knew exactly who'd betray him in that garden. My Saviour was aware of all the trials on the way and knew the pain he'd have to face on Crucifixion Day. My Saviour knew the torture that lay ahead of him, aware that he'd lay down his life to pay the cost of sin. My Saviour knew the scourging would tear his back apart. He knew God's separation would completely break his heart. The punishment that he would face filled him with a dread, but knew his love would overrule and crush the serpent's head. Yes, Jesus knew he'd overcome the power of the grave, that through his resurrection all mankind could then be saved. My Saviour knew the victory was worth the pain and strife. To save the likes of you and me, my Saviour gave his life. He volunteered it willingly. Don't think that it was taken. He gave his life wholeheartedly, so please don't be mistaken. My Saviour knew you'd scoff and that you'd treat him with disdain. He knew you'd mock his sacrifice and disrespect his name. Jesus knew the slanders and the curses you would say, and yet he still endured the cross and loved you anyway. Yes, Jesus paid a price for you, which you may not accept, but may this thought inspire you to show him some respect. He walked that road to Calvary and died for me and you. When next you see the cross of Christ, just know my Saviour knew.